So you can start.
Okay. See. So for multiplication of decimal, the first thing is that you have to ignore the decimal points given in the number. The first rule is that you ignore the decimal point and multiply the decimals as whole numbers. So to do multiplication, we ignore the why some examples. This statement will be clear once we do some examples. Okay. So to do multiplication, we ignore the decimal points, and multiply the numbers, multiply the decimals as whole numbers. As whole numbers. Okay. That is the first step we have to do. Okay. Then we have to add the number of decimal places. We have to add the number of decimal places. Let us take one such example. Okay. Say that we have given, we have one example. Say a decimal number like 2.5, and we are going to multiply it by 12, suppose. Okay, Habib. So by the first rule, what is the first rule saying? You have to ignore the decimal point here. Ignore that there's a decimal point between 2 and 5. So by the first method or first step, let's consider them as normal whole numbers. Whole numbers, you understand now? Whole numbers, right? Put the camera at one proper place. Use some camera stand or something. Okay, you are joining from other device. Yeah. So first you have to consider them as any whole numbers. Okay, Habib. So we ignore the decimals and then do the normal multiplication as we're supposed to do. Okay. So this will give you 300. 25 times 12 is equal to 300. Upon multiplication, you will get this value, right? Now, count the total number of decimal places in this here. In the decimal number, count the number of decimal places. How many decimal places are there?
Decimal places?
Like
In which number?
2.5, there is only one decimal place.
Yes.
Getting it now? So in the product also, like this is the product. This right here is our product. Okay. So in the product, we are going to insert the decimal point in the product so that it has also the same number of decimal places. The given number here has one decimal place. So in the product also there has to be one decimal place. In order to get one decimal place in the product, we should insert a zero between these two zeros. We should insert a point between these two zeros. So here you are having one decimal place. Let me write this over here. We have one decimal place here, and here also we have one decimal place. We have one decimal place here. You getting it so far what we have done here? You have counted the total number of decimal places in the factors. By the way, these numbers are called as factors now. The number that are multiplied, they are called as factors, and the result is called as the product now. So you have to count the total number of decimal places. Pay attention here. So these were the factors. Yes. So first step is that you have to do the normal multiplication. Okay, now ignoring that it is a decimal place. So you multiply 25 by 12 and you got the product as 300. Then you have to count the total number of decimal places. Decimal place means that how many digits are there after the decimal point here. So there is just one digit. So we have only one decimal place. So do the normal multiplication, and in the product, you have to make sure that the product also has one decimal place. So for that purpose, we need to put one decimal point here. And hence this is 30.0 or basically more appropriate manner is simply writing it as 30. Why? Because after decimal point, writing 0 does not make any sense. It is not going to change the value if you were to write it as 30 only. Tell me if that much is clear so far. I hope your connection is stable. It is clear to you now. So next step is
Yes.
count the total decimal places in the given factor. Count the total decimal places in the factor. In this given example, there was only one decimal place. Okay. We're going to take some other examples also. Why that also we are going to learn this. Okay. Now the third and the last step is basically you have to place the decimal in the product so that it has the same number of decimal places. So put the decimal point in the product so that it has the same number of decimal places as the factors have. It has the same number of decimal places as the factors have. Okay, this was a simple example. Consider one another example for you. Okay, suppose if the number were to be like this, call this as example one, and you have example two. Suppose in which we are multiplying a decimal with another decimal number. Like here, you have multiplied a decimal with a natural number 12. First, complete writing this much. Then we are going to do example number two. Otherwise, we won't be getting it. Write it fast.
Sir, I first wrote the first point
Hmm?
of this to do multiplication. I wrote this first point, then wrote the example. Is it okay?
Okay, it is okay. It is okay. No issues. Then write down the second and third point also. Write this fast, Habib. Also tell me you have understood the method so far. Good.
So what is this?
Hmm.
In the last point, put the decimal point in the product so that it decimal places as the factor.
Put the decimal point in the product so that it has the same number of decimal places as the factors have. HAVE have. Okay. Like in this given example, the factors only had one decimal place. Okay. So we make to show that the product also has same number of decimal places. Got it? No? Good. Let's take some examples. Okay, now like we are going to learn about multiplication of decimal by a decimal number. Here, this was example of multiplication of decimal by a whole number. Okay, whole number. So for example, for multiplication of decimal by a decimal number, basically same step is going to be followed. Basically, it is not any different from that. Just consider some examples. Say that you have 2.34 being multiplied by 4.6, suppose. Okay. So you are going to like let's count the number of digits after the decimal point here. How many digits are there? How many decimal places are there? Number of digits is 2, right, Habib? And how many digits are there?
One.
Number of digits here is only 1. Okay. Now we know we have to multiply them as any normal number, just like how you do the multiplication for any given whole number. So let's multiply 234 by 46. By following the first method, which says that to multiply we have to ignore the decimal point and then multiply it as whole numbers. So that is what we're doing. Okay, quickly do the multiplication with me. 6 fours are 24, right? Getting it? So we write 4 over here. We carry 2. 6 threes are 18. 18 plus 2, that is 20. So I write 0. Next, tell me what should I write?
6 threes are 18.
We have already done that now. 6 threes are 18. 18 plus 2, 20. So you have 0. You are carrying 2 in your hand. 6 twos are
6 twos are 12. It will be 14.
14. Okay, next.
Next.
Hmm. 4 fours are
4 fours are 16.
so if we carry 1,
And 4 threes are
hmm,
12. 13.
okay. Again we carry 1. Next, that is
4 twos are 8. 9.
9. So we add this now. That is 4, 6, 7, and then that is the value, right? Okay. Now, how many digits are there after the decimal point? How many decimal places are 2 plus 1? 3, right now. So we are getting the value, we are getting the product as this is the product 10764, right? Okay. As per the method, it is being said that you have to count the total decimal places in the factor. So in the factor, how many decimal places are there? 2 plus 1, 3, isn't it, Abhi? Okay. So how many decimal places should be there in the
Yes.
product? There should be 3 decimal places now,
P
right? So where should we put the decimal point now?
between 0 and 7.
Exactly, between 0 and 7. So here we are going to put this decimal, right? Hope you have understood how it has to be done.
Yes.
If yes, then do some of the questions.
What about example 2, sir?
This you can take as example number two, basically. Okay, that was example number two. Okay, let's do some questions. Okay, now let's start by doing the questions. No need to write the example two. Why some questions you will be able to do understand it further. So question A is such that suppose you have 13.75 and you are multiplying it by 5.5. That's question number A. Question number B is you have got 2.56 and you multiply it by 0.2. Okay, first do these questions and then we will continue further. Make sure to write down the question also while solving it.
I got the answer for A1.
What's the answer?
Um, 75.6 to 75.625.
Well done. 75.625. That is correct. Okay. Solve the next question.
It is 512.
Repeat again.
512.
Where did the decimal point go?
0.00.
No. How have you multiplied this, Habib?
0.
250.
0.512.
It should not be read as 512. Either you can
5.
read this as 0.512 or 0 and 512 thousandth. Okay, good. 0.512. Continue with this question also. Question number C. Please. Yes, Abhi. Hmm.
Got
Yes.
10.503.
Hmm. Well done. That is correct. Okay. Now, in the next question, what you have to do, you have to insert the decimal point. I have written the product, but the decimal point is not mentioned here. So you
Between
have to tell me,
2 and 6.
repeat again. Between 6 and 2. Good. And
Between 2 and 6.
hmm. And here,
Between 0 and 4.
which one? Here or here?
Is 0 and 4. Yeah. The second one.
Exactly. Very good. So I guess now you have understood how multiplication has to be done. Good. So next we're going to learn about division of decimals. Okay. So mention the topic of division of decimals. So for the division of this also, somewhat same rule will be applied here also. Okay. Now, so for division of uh, decimal by another decimal here. So write down the following points for this. Hmm. First, you're going to write down in this first mention division of decimal by a whole number. Steps are as follows. So first you have to divide as with whole number. Okay, na? Just like you are going to divide as with a whole number, so you are going to divide it in the following manner. To divide a whole number by another whole number, you know what you have to do. Getting it? So write down in this divide as with whole number. Just like you are going to divide any two whole numbers, in that manner you are going to continue the division. Okay, but you need to place the decimal point in the quotient directly above its position in the dividend. Directly above its position in the dividend. Let me tell you one example. But first write down this, otherwise it will be in an organized manner. Yes, Abhi.
Done.
Huh. So further mention that place the decimal point in the quotient directly above its position in the dividend. Directly above its position in the dividend. Dividend, divisor, quotient, and remainder. I suppose you already know these terms, right? Consider one example. Suppose the number given is 33.6 and you have to divide it by 2. So a decimal is being divided by a whole number. 3.6 is the decimal number, 2 is the whole number. So the first step is divide as with whole number. Just do the normal division, how you're going to carry out a normal division. Okay. So like just write 3.6 for example here and 2 over here. Okay. So consider that this number here is 36 for example. So two 18s are 36. In the quotient you'll be getting two 18s, right?
Yes.
So like two ones are two. First you can write it in this manner, suppose. So 3 minus 2, that is 1. Getting it? And then you bring down the number 6 over here. Okay. Further you will be writing two 8s are 16 and hence your division stops here. Remainder is 0. What is the quotient? Quotient is 18. This is the quotient here. Now, the second step says that place the decimal point in the quotient directly above its position in the dividend. Where is the position of decimal point in the dividend? It is here. So directly above this, put the decimal point, meaning that it is to be put at this position. Getting it now, Habib?
Mm.
Hmm. So like this, we have to do the division. Hope you're getting it. Okay. With some question, we are going to learn this. But as of now, write down the next thing, that division of decimal by a decimal number. Okay. So division You can write down the example, by the way, okay? Hmm. Division of decimal by a.
After these 2 points, can I write the example?
Yeah, sure. You have to write down the exam. Write down that example. Just done so far.
Almost.
Okay. The second one, to understand the second method, first we are going to take one example.
Done.
Then, good. Let us take some examples first. As of now, you don't have to write anything, okay? You will be writing the statement first, which I'm going to dictate in a minute, okay? Consider that you have two decimal numbers. Suppose you are required to divide 4.2 with 0.7, suppose. So first, what we are going to do, in the first step, we are going to convert 0.7 into a whole number. The divisor, this is the divisor here, right? Isn't this the divisor, Habib? Right? This is the divisor. Okay. So we
Yes.
are going to convert this into a whole number, meaning that you have to convert this into a whole number. Like right now, it is in a decimal number, so we have to convert this into whole number. Okay.
0 is the. Oh, okay.
Hmm. This is 0.7. See. So first step is that we convert the given divisor. We convert the divisor into a whole number, and that how we are going to do, we are going to divide, multiply it by 10, and we'll be multiplying the dividend also by 10. Getting it now? What we have to do, we have to make the divisor a whole number. Getting it? And we'll be multiplying the divisor with 10, and we'll be multiplying the dividend with also 10. We can multiply them by 100 also, we can multiply them by 1000 also. It will depend upon the number of decimal places in the divisor. How many decimal places are there in the divisor? In the divisor, how many decimal places are there?
1.
One, no? So in this case, we are going to multiply both of them with 10 only. Okay. So follow up with me what we're going to do here. Okay. So 4.2 divided by 0.7, we are going to multiply both of them by 10. So 4.2 is being multiplied by 10, and 0.7 is also being multiplied by 10, right? So 4.2 multiplied by 10 will be giving you how much? Yes, follow the rules we have learned.
4.2.
It's 4.2 multiplied by 10.
Mm, it is for 42.
42. And 0.7 multiplied by 10 is 7 only.
0.7.
Good. So
7
further
only.
we can do the division like we are basically dividing 42 and 7 here. Getting it what we have done? We have converted the divisor and the dividend both into whole numbers. Okay, no? So second step is that we perform the division now. So basically perform the division, right? And that is 42 divided by 7 is equal to how much? Yes, Abhi. 42 divided by 7.
It
Come on, that
will
is so
be
simple.
6.
6. So thereby the result is 6 here. The result is 4.2 divided by 0.7, that is equal to 6. This is our answer. You got what we have to do. That was just example number 1. Take one more example. Example number 2. Suppose if I were to have a number 5.35, we are asked to divide 5.35 with 0.05, suppose. Now in this case, how many, like the divide, which one is the divisor? First of all, tell me.
Divisor.
Which one is the divisor here?
The second number, 0.
Second number. Okay. So how many decimal places does it have?
2.
2. So we are going to multiply both of them by 2. Okay, now. So step number 1 was that we convert the divisor into a whole number, and we seen that it has 2 decimal places. Okay. So 5.35 divided by 0.05, after having converted 5.35 and 0.05 by multiplying by 100, tell me what this value will be.
It will be
Hmm.
535,000.
No, no, not 1000. Only 535. No, let me help you.
Yes.
See, this is 5.35. Like, just we have to consider this as any given normal whole number. 535 multiplied by 100. So it will give us 53500. Then we have to count the number of decimal places. 2 decimal places are there, so we put a 0 over here, a decimal over here. So that is simply 535 now. You can simply write this as 535. Okay, now if there is 0 after decimal point, so there is no need to write it in that
If
manner.
there are, in the divisor, if there are 2, the number of the number of digits, there are 2, so
2
we should multiply
multiply by
by
100.
100.
Exactly. Okay, so this will become, this will
535.
5. No, no,
This
second one 5. Okay.
500.
No, no, only 5 no.
5.
Okay, like this will be 500. 5
We don't have
multiplied
to
by
count
100.
the zeros.
Yeah, see, 5 multiplied by 100 is equal to 500. Now there are 2 decimal places here, so we are going to put 10 over here. So this is 5.00, but we can simply write this as 5. Okay. So that is 535 multiplied by 5, and that will give you how much? In the second step, you have to perform the division, no? So 535 divided by 5 will be, it should be giving you 107, and hence our result is as follows. Result is as follows. So 5.35 divided by 0.05, it is equal to the answer which you have got here. Tell me if it is clear to you.
Yes, it is.
It is very good. Then write down the topic. Have you written this decimal division of decimal by a decimal number?
Yes, I have wrote.
Good. So in this, write down that first step is that you have to make the divisor a whole number. Under the same heading, you're going to write down multiply both the divisor and dividend by either 10 or either by 100 or either by 1000, etc., depending on the number of decimal places in the divisor. Depending on the number of decimal places in the divisor. Okay. So you always have to look how many decimal places are there in the divisor. Okay, no? Then step number two is simply you have to perform the division. Divide the numbers as if they were whole numbers. So divide the numbers. And the third step is that you have to place the decimal in the question basically. Or basically the whatever answer you're getting, it is your answer basically. Okay. The final result is the answer. Yes, Habib.
Done.
Done? Good. You can just write the above example. Okay, no? Just write one of the example only.
I wrote the first example
You
in
have written
division
it?
by a whole number.
No, no, that you have written, that's a good thing. You have to write down this one, but you have to write down one another example also. Write down the first example quickly, okay?
It will take a long time.
Okay, if it is so, just
Uh, I
I'll be putting this screenshot. 1 minute. Okay, now we are going to do some questions. Okay, I have sent the screenshot. Let me see if it goes or not. Hmm. So you have to divide the following decimals. Divide the following numbers.
you shared the screenshot in the meeting.
I have, but let me see
That's
if it is going there or not. Yeah, I have shared it right now. Are you able to download it? You know how to download?
it's like it's not coming.
It is not visible.
It's there is a circle. Yeah, yeah. It's visible now.
Visible? Okay. Make sure that you save it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I saved.
good. So, yeah, start the division of the following numbers. The first question is you have to divide 9.6 with 3. Next, you're going to divide mm, 24.8 24.8 with 8. Okay. Question number C, we'll be dividing the next number as, let's say, you have 68.5 and you're going to divide it by 5. Divide these numbers first. And these are all division of decimals with a whole number.
For first one, is it 3.2?
Well done. 3.2. Very good. Right. So 3 threes are 9. Okay. Then you write down the 6 over here. 3 twos are 6. Right. And there you put the decimal point. Good. Continue with the next one.
One is 3.1.
3.1. Well done.
Third one is 13.7.
13.7. Well done, Habib. Very good. Okay, let's take some different questions now. So divide the following. Question number A is that I'm going to give a simple question first. Say you have 2.7 and you're going to divide it by 0.3. Question number B would be 15.75. You have to divide it by 3.5. And take one more question. See that you have 4.16 and you are going to divide it by 0.8.
The first one is 0.9.
Repeat again. How you will be getting 0.9? A decimal is being divided by another decimal, no? What have we learned for division between two decimal numbers? First, you have to convert them into whole number. Which one is the divisor here? Look over here. Now look into the screen. 0.3 is the divisor now. It has one decimal place, meaning that both of them will be multiplied by 10. Okay, so in a rough space here, we are going to multiply both of them. So 2.7 multiplied by 10 and 0.3 multiplied by 10. So this is 27 and this becomes 3. So we are basically dividing 27 with 3 and hence that gives us 9 now. That will be our answer. Yes or no? Tell me if you're finding it difficult to understand.
Will be 0.9.
No, we are not multiplying, Habib. You are confusing it with multiplying. We are dividing it now. Okay, just do one thing. Take a look at this example once again. 4.2 was being divided by 0.7. So we find how many decimal places are there. It has only one decimal place. Divisor has one decimal place. So both of them will be converted into whole number by multiplying both of them with 10. So we multiplied 4.2 with 10, we got 42, and 0.7 multiplied by 10, we got 7. So we divide 42 by 7, and that becomes our final answer. 6 was the final answer. Okay, so same thing has
Okay,
to be done
understood.
here. Okay, solve the next question then. This one is going to be 9. Always you have to look at the divisor first. Okay, always look at divisor first. Like how many numbers are there, decimal places are there. As per that, you have to multiply both of them. And it is not necessary that both the divisors and dividend will have same number of digits after decimal point. Like in this given example B, this has two, dividend has two places after decimal point, and divisor only has one. But we need to look for the number of look for the number of places in the divisor.
$45.
That is 45. You sure about that? 45, no? Hmm. Good. Continue with the next question.
$52.
That is 52. Good. Now solve the last question.
Which? This one?
Mhm.
27.
By the way, for the first one, hold on for a minute. You are getting this as
45.
45, right? Okay. 15.75. This will be multiplied by 10. 3.5, that is also going to be multiplied by 10. So that becomes 157.5. And this becomes 35. Okay, this becomes 35. Now further you are going to carry the division. So 157.5 divided by 35. So I don't think you should be getting 45, Habib. Okay, now from here on you continue the division. It's 157.5. See, earlier we had two decimal numbers. Now we are having a decimal and a whole number. So 35 fives are how much? Yeah, 107.
35. 30,
35 fours.
175.
35 fours are we are going to take. 35 fours are 140.
This 140.
Hmm. So then by it is 17 over here, right? Okay. So we are going to bring down this 5 over here. Then we are going
It
to
will
write
be
35. Continue.
5.
Exactly. Okay. So this is the remainder is 0 here. So we are going to put this decimal point right over here now. 4.5. 4.5 is the right answer to this question number B. Okay. I hope you are getting it. Hmm. Let me check for the third one also what you were answering. For this, what you were getting? 52, right? Tell me, did
4
you
point, 5.2.
5.2? Okay. Tell me, did you multiply both of them with 10 or 100?
It 10.
Hmm. It has to be decided based on the number of decimal places in the divisor, no? it has one decimal place, so we are going to multiply both of them by 10. So that is 41.6 upon 8. So 41.6, 8 fives are 40, and 8 twos are 16. And you write the zero way. So that is going to be 5.2. You're getting where where you have done
Yes,
the calculation
5.2.
mistake. Got it now? Okay, solve the last question also. There's just one question left. Yes, Abhi.
Is it 0.9?
No, that
9?
isn't correct. No, it's 90 now. Both of them have to be multiplied by 100 now. So this will be 270 divided by 3, and that will give you 90. Okay.
270.
Let me tell you why. Basically, this is multiplied by 100, that becomes 270. This multiplied by 100 becomes